Does the Loop family still haunt the mansion? Are the other buildings in the property haunted as well? And have guests of the museum actually seen the ghost of the daughter of Dr. Loop, Ada? Join Black River Paranormal as they ask these questions. Is it possible to communicate with the other side? Join the team as they investigate the Sanilac County Historical Museum and Village to see if it's truly haunted.
So tell us about the Loop family.
Dr. Loop's grandson, Stanley Harrison, donated the mansion and 7 acres to the Sanilac County Historical Society. Dr. Loop built this house in 1872 and finished it in 1875. Dr. Loop married Jane Gardner, and they had a daughter, Ada. And Ada had 2 sons, Fred and Stanley Harrison. Stanley lived until 1977.
Oh, wow.
And it was after that that the kitchen became our boardroom, so to speak, and the other rooms off of the kitchen became the office and the archives room.
How'd the museum come across the church?
The couple that owned the church, after it quit being a church, decided they wanted to donate it, when they were through with it, to the Historical Society.
Where'd you find the train depot?
The train depot was previously owned by a couple who no longer wanted the upkeep of the building and so forth, and they also wanted to keep it intact, so they donated it to our museum.
Tell us about the Houndtown Cabin.
The Houndtown Cabin that houses our Indian artifacts came with the railroad depot. That was part of our package.
Oh, did you from the same from the
Yes.
same couple? Oh, really?
Yes,
Where'd they find all the artifacts and stuff?
Those we had here.
Oh, interesting.
People from around the county had, in past years, had a hobby of collecting arrowheads. And so we have quite a large display of arrowheads. And they aren't just from here in this area or the state of Michigan. There's some from Arizona, a lot from out west area.
Have you ever encountered a ghost at the museum?
I have not personally had that feeling, although I'm very aware of this when I am upstairs by myself.
Tell us a story about Ada's ghost.
Extinguisher man came one day to check fire extinguishers.
This is a good story.
And he just stuck his head into Ada's room, I'm assuming to see if there was a fire extinguisher in there. And he saw Ada standing at the window, and she had the curtains pulled back like she was looking out the window. And then she just disappeared, and the curtains fell back into place. I had heard this story from a couple of other people that work here, but one day I actually did speak with him and ask him if he was the person who had seen Ada, and he said yes, and he told me his story.
Interesting.
Also, one of our society members held a birthday party here for her dad, and one of the guests had his back to the wall, so there was no one around him, and he was speaking to a couple people standing in front of him, and all of a sudden he just turned white and stopped talking, and they asked if he was okay, and he said yes, but he felt something brush his sleeve, and there wasn't anyone around him. So the people knew the Ada story and told him about Ada, and he really didn't want to hear any more about that after that.